Good morning, Anna.
Good morning. How are you doing?
Very good, very good. Thank you for accepting my interview for my business communication class. I would like to ask you a few questions about your career in litigation support.
Okay.
First, how did you start your career as a litigation support professional?
Well, it's kind of a long roundabout way that I got here. What happened was my dad got me a job working part-time as an administrative assistant for a firm he was working for that did this type work and was also a regular accounting firm. And so I kind of slowly, as I was writing all the memos and doing really simple tracing schedules just putting things out, I started to get curious and I was like, well, I want to know where the money's going. I want to know what's happening. So I knew that I needed to have more education, so I started to go to school for it. And when I told my boss about that, he started to allow me to have more opportunities to do the work.
So is your father also an accountant? Or?
Yes, yeah, my dad's a CPA, and he actually was in banking for 30 years, and then he got laid off and decided to get into business valuation. So, and then he had an interview with one of his former co-workers who had his own business.
So he also works in litigation support, kind of the same?
Yes. Yeah, we're actually on opposing sides most of the time now, so it's kind of going up against each other a lot.
Can you describe your firm's culture?
Yes, yep. My firm's culture is amazing. I'm really, really lucky to be there. It's employee-centered. It's very open, so they love to have communication top down, bottom up, and it's pretty frequently every quarter or every month, however it can work out for one of the partners. He actually comes and we have Bagels for a Better Whitley Penn. It's a breakfast that we have on Thursdays sometimes. And the managing partner will come in and just keep us all updated. Let us know what's going on. We had a recent merger with a firm down in Houston, so he would always keep us updated, tell us about insurance policy, anything that he needs to let us know, and then we can ask any questions.
So when you say that the culture is very employee-centered, you mean the partners share all the information and
yes, that
the direction of the firm? Yeah,
that, and they also they're very into giving us benefits. So one thing that they do every couple of years is they take everybody on a firm trip. And so this year, it's in October, I won't be able to go, but they are actually chartering planes to fly everyone to Florida, and then they've booked a cruise ship.
Oh, wow.
For the firm. And so everyone's going to go out there. And they've done cruise ships before. They've taken them to resorts, gone to Vegas. And it's just something that's really important so that all the employees can get to know each other. And they've got great benefits. We have free drinks and snacks in the break room. And they're really good about being flexible on time.
So you have time to come to school and study and all of that?
Yeah. If I need to leave a little early, my boss will work it out with me. I can go in earlier, or I can take my work home with me and work late at night. So.
In your opinion, can you describe the most important skill or skills you must have as a professional to be successful in litigation support?
So I guess the most important, and it's kind of hard because there's a lot that you really need to have, but I narrowed it down to 3. And I think one of the most important is attention to detail. You need to be able to look through boxes and boxes of documents. We have one case that had over 20 boxes of documents. So that's over 30,000 pages of documents you've got to go and look through. So you've got to be able to identify things in there that are important, flag it, and be like, this is something we need to go look into. Or notice suspicious transactions in general ledgers. Another thing is that you need to have really good analytical abilities. So you need to be able, it kind of plays into paying attention to detail. But then once you see a problem or you start noticing something is kind of looking funny on the books, then you want to kind of go in and be like, okay, well, what's going on here? and probe a little deeper. And then just a really open, inquisitive mind, be thinking out of the box and always trying to be like, okay, if I were someone, how would I do this from any angle?
When you say documents, what kind of documents?
You'll look at bank statements, insurance statements, wills, and court documents, tons of court documents. There's a lot of legalese that you have to be able to read through and understand. And sometimes we'll get random pictures from some clients, so.
What about the communication skills? How important are they?
That was one of my other ones that I decided to put out towards the end, because that's something that you can develop, and we do develop it with some of our staff, especially the young ones that haven't really had an opportunity to build themselves in the field. But you need to be able to communicate your ideas clearly, especially if you have to go testify in court. Whenever we talk with the attorneys and help give them our theories and approaches to the work, and just on a day-to-day basis, we're having to contact people for information, we're having to communicate to the partners what we think is going on, and we have to send tons and tons of emails. So,
can you explain for me a typical divorce litigation support case?
There is none. No, there's really not a typical case. Every single case is extremely unique, just because it may involve money, but then there's different levels of money. You could have brokerage statements, you could have bank accounts, you could have a business where you've got alter ego problems, where the business owner and the business, all the expenditures are so commingled and all the assets are so commingled between the two that you can't tell who is who. I guess the basic way, though, I was trying to think, the basic way that you can think of a litigation engagement is you get a call from the attorneys. They say, hey, we want you to work on this case. You're like, great. You send an engagement letter and request a retainer, and then you get that returned to you. Then you send out an initial document request, get your documents in, analyze it, send supplemental document requests, have a meeting with the attorneys, and then from there you prepare for either mediation or you prepare for trial. Just depends on where the case goes.
Do you get to talk to the clients, not to the attorneys,
yes.
but to...
Yes, yeah, I'm in direct contact with all the clients. One of the things the firm recently started doing was bringing along